All the preliminaries should have been over by this time. So shall we proceed straight away with the question and answer session? You are going to conduct? Please, sir. Please.
Assalamualaikum. The first question is from Miss Patricia Maguire from London.
Yes.
The question is, are people born good or evil? Please explain what is meant by the self that incites to evil when talking about the natural states of man.
What?
Are people born good or evil?
Good. That is the answer.
When talking about the natural states of man, please explain what is meant by the self that incites to evil.
You see, man is born good because he is born in the character of God. According to the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it is the appearance or the environment which make a child good or bad. But he is given a good start in life, because had the start been bad, then he could not be held responsible for anything evil which he does. So this is the philosophy of reward and punishment. If a child, like we believe every child is born good, begins to deviate from the character on which he is born, largely it is the parents who are responsible, or the environments, or other circumstances. But if he succumbs to those pressures, then he will be answerable. If he does not, then he will be rewarded. And the reward is always much greater than the punishment of evil. This is the principle as mentioned in the Holy Quran. Right? Please.
This question is from Mr. Danny Posova from Crystal Palace. His question is genetic engineering good for food consumption? Are there any side effects?
I believe it is bad for human consumption, because what we know of the food and its values, since we have inherited the normal food and the values attached to it, good points and bad points, for thousands of years, we have already assessed the bad effects of continuous eating of bad food and good effects of food from human experience of the past. But the genetic engineering is far too new. It's like a newborn baby. We don't know what effects it will produce later on. Already I have many examples in my mind whereby, to begin with, a scientific experiment was lauded by the scientists as excellent and very good. But within the next 2 or 3 generations, the same scientists who lauded it decried it and said it is an evil thing, and they started withdrawing such medicines which are artificially created. So the basic to both is artificial creation, synthesis through chemical or physical knowledge, and you know where to strike off one atom and add another. This science creates new material of which we have no experience. That's what I mean. Genetic engineering is no different from this. And I should, I'm not that I'm going to go for genetic engineering, but I should advise people who go to do it with a pinch of salt. Thank you.
This question is from Mr. Ronald Anderson from Worcester Park. With the advent of the nuclear bomb in the Asian subcontinent, the danger to the ancient cultures and traditions of the inhabitants of the subcontinent is apparent. However, must we look further east in the Asian continent for the real threat?
Further east. How far east?
Far East.
Huh?
Far East.
Why not look westwards? Instead of looking into the east and going into the far east, the evil generation of nuclear bombs of all sorts are done in the West primarily. Whatever you find in Pakistan or India or other countries of the world, they are just trying to steal their secrets, which they try to guard. And nobody knows whether they really try to guard it or release the secrets to benefit from the outcome of these things. So this is a very complicated issue. But nuclear explosion must remind you of Western technology of achieving the know-how and the capability to build such atomic or nuclear bombs as can destroy the whole world 100 times over. Now this is not taken note of. The plea is that the third world countries are irresponsible. We are responsible, so we will not let atomic proliferation take place because we know the consequences and we will stand guard over it. This is a fallacious argument. As I discussed the matter in Germany last time, and all the knowledgeable scientists present agreed with me that it's only matter of situation whereby Germany can also decide to go for nuclear armament. And so is the case with Japan. Japan and Germany both are capable of producing nuclear weapons to a size which is going to dazzle the eyes of the West. They know it. They have prepared everything, but they do not let it come to the surface. So atomic threat is not posed by a bomb or two of India and Pakistan. They know it is just meaningless. If ever a threat is caused, it is caused to these countries themselves. And the threat is to their economy, not to the Western economies. In fact, the West will benefit from this explosion to a very large degree. And they will stop supply of things by the direct route. And by an indirect route, they will continue to supply all the things which are forbidden at a much higher cost. So the whole situation is very misleading to a casual observer. If you know what's happening in the world today and how the Western countries manage to make benefit out of every situation, then you know what I'm talking about. What happened in the Gulf crisis, the same thing. What happened in all other crises. Every time they said no more weapons to Iraq. What actually happened was they continued to provide Iraq with all that weaponry, but at a cost which was much higher than the normal cost. With the result that they damaged the economy of